What's up guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at how to upgrade your gear. I'll be showing you a few different ways that you can use to boost your combat rating. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the different ways you can upgrade your gear. We can mouse over a piece of gear and we can see at the bottom we have Appraised Stats, Charming, Soul Gem, and Enhancing. If we hold down the Control key, we can then scroll through each of them to see what the current piece of gear has. Let's start with the most common form of upgrading, enhancing. To enhance your piece of gear, you're going to need to go to an enhancing anvil you see here. We're going to enhance, and to do so, we're going to need to unequip our piece of gear. Then all you do is simply put it in the item slot. Next, we'll choose which type of whetstone we want to use. Each whetstone will increase the quality of the enhancer's blessing if you fail. Now, to go into the enhancer's blessing, you can see at the bottom right, we have a % chance to increase a successful enhance on the next one. So basically what this means is every time you fail to enhance something to the next level, you gain a little buff to increase your chance to enhance. Now, once you succeed in enhance, it will wipe your blessing and start back over at 0. So what the higher quality whetstones do is it increases the blessing you receive on a fail. So say the white whetstones give you 0.5%, the green might give you 1%, the blues might give you 2%, and so on and so forth. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind when enhancing your gear is stability. As you can see in the bottom right, stability has 35 out of 250. Now what this means is when stability reaches 0, you can no longer enhance your gear. Now, there is a way to restore stability. As you can see here, they're called stabilizing hammers. Now, there's a bunch of different kinds of these. You can see them as fix-it hammers as well. And it'll read, repairs 3 to 7 stability on an item damaged by enhancement attempts. There are a couple that, I'm not sure if all the tooltips are fixed, where it says restores durability, but it is referring to stability. So basically, if you have no stability, you can't enhance anymore. So you need to use a hammer on that item to increase the stability so you can continue enhancing. Now, what enhancing does, as you can see here, when we scroll down, this will show you that at enhancement level 11, we're gaining 403 attack and 408 defense, and then at the next level, it shows you what you'll gain from that. Also, just below that, we can see if we reach enhanced level 9, 11, and 13, we gain bonus effects as well. So, you'll just have to look through your pieces of gear to see which ones you want to enhance, such as armor, which usually only increases defense when you get it higher, but they also have bonuses on them as well. Moving on to the next one, let's take a look at appraised stats. So whenever we look at a piece of gear here, we can see that it has appraised stats on it. What this is whenever you identify a piece of gear when you receive it, it rolls a random set of appraisal stats. Legendaries have 5, purple have 4, so on and so forth. The higher the quality also will determine how high the stats can roll. Now, just because you get these stats doesn't mean you're stuck with them. We actually have ways to change these. Now, this is a little confusing, but we have these scrolls here. We have scrolls that are reappraisal scrolls and scrolls that are recalculation scrolls. The reappraisal scrolls, the white scrolls, allow us to completely re-roll the appraisal stats that we rolled and get brand new ones. The darker scrolls, the recalculation scrolls, allow us to re-roll the values of the stats that we rolled. Now, there's only 2 different kinds of scrolls, but there are technically 4 different kinds, so let me show you here. These ones right here, that'll give you this type of UI for the recalc and the same for the reappraisal scroll. Now, what this will do is when you put your item in here and you hit reappraise, it will completely re-roll all of your appraised stats. Or if you use the recalc, it'll completely recalc all of the appraised stats. Now, there's a second type of scroll. While they do the same thing, they give a different UI. When we put our item in here, we can choose to lock in a specific stat, and then when we go to reappraise, this stat won't be changed. The other cool thing about this is, whenever you get brand new stats here, you don't have to accept them. If you hit reappraisal changes here, it will accept the new stats while not changing any of the stats you locked in. But if you don't like the new stats, simply re-roll again or exit out, and it won't force you to take the new stats. So this is pretty nice. The other really cool thing about these scrolls, specifically right here, this magnifying glass, what this does is it tells you every possible roll that you can get on each piece of gear. So we take the earring out and we try, say, a gun, for example. You can see that the stats change per piece. This is a great way to know like what you're aiming for, or maybe what you want to keep, what you want to try to roll differently, stuff like that. So make sure you keep an eye on which scrolls you're using and you know what stats you're going for. All right, what do we have next? Let's see. Charming. Okay, so right here we can see this is a charm. Basically what charms are they go into specific slots in your gear. As you can see, this one goes into the slot head, so this will only fit in my head slot. And at the bottom we can see it gives crit damage and bonus crit damage. And for people that aren't aware, crit damage is a tooltip error. It is just simply referring to your crit rate. So we can specifically put this Assassin's Charm 3 in a head slot. When you put a charm into a piece of gear, you cannot get that charm back. The only thing you can do is overwrite that charm with a new charm. So be careful which charms you put in if you want to save it for later, or which pieces of gear you put it in. Now you can see like right here, we have a Mystic Charm 1, but this goes into the chest, legs, hands, or feet. So you can choose any of those pieces of items to put it into. Now as you can see though, this is only a Charm 1, while this one is a Charm 3. There's 5 tiers of charms. They just go up in the quality: white, green, blue, purple, orange, yellow. And of course, the higher quality ones come with not only higher stats, but as you can see, this has 2 stats on it, and this only has 1 stat on it. So the higher you go, the more stats you get on the item, and the higher the stats go. So charms are a pretty good way to give you a little boost to your gear. There's some elemental charms you can get like for your accessories and stuff, and those are pretty nice. They give you some bonus effects for the higher elements you have. So the last thing we want to take a look at, we have soul gems here. Now, soul gems actually require this machine over here, the soul gem processor. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. Now, this UI is pretty straightforward. You just simply put the item in, and if you don't have slots unlocked, you'll need to unlock 2 slots. There's 2 slots per item, and each slot will cost a few thousand gold, you know, not too big of a deal at 65. So to unlock both of them, you'll have to pay money for them, but each item will always have the same type of gem. So all your accessories will always have topaz type gems. Your head, gloves, and weapon are sapphire, and your chest, legs, and feet are rubies. Now you can also see this when you mouse over a gem, such as here. It'll say can be socketed on hand, head, or weapon. So if you forget which ones they can go into, simply mouse over one of the gems and they'll let you know. Now, there's a couple other things we can do with soul gems. We have gem craft, which allows us to choose which gems we want to craft up. So as you can see here, I have 5 deadly ruby tier 2s, and when I craft them together, it'll cost me 50 gold, but it will create 1 deadly ruby tier 3. Now, there is one other thing, is gem fusion. If you guys know about the melders with charms or artifacts, this is a little different. You put in 2 gems, say 2 slashing or a slashing and an irresistible. You can put in any 2 you want as long as they're the same tier. So these are both tier 2s. But when you hit this fuse button, it will give you a brand new tier 2 gem. This does not have a chance to upgrade to tier 3 like the charms and artifacts. So keep that in mind. This will not go up a tier. It does not have a chance to. The trick is down here, you can select with these special soul gem fusion coupons. It allows you to choose which gem you want to come out of the process. So by using one of those, we can force these gems to become a specific gem, which then we can get 5 of here to craft up to the next tier. So yeah, those are pretty straightforward. You can see all the gems here as well if you want to know, like topaz, it has all the elemental properties. Ruby, damage, crit chance, attack power, crit damage. Sapphire has your like striking bonuses, striking, slashing, piercing, crushing, accuracy, stuff like that. So, decide which ones you think are the best for your class, stick them in there, and you'll be good to go. This is like an enormous, huge CR boost. All of these processes done together, not just one of them. So it's a great way when you hit level 65 to just go through and kind of tweak it a little bit here and there. You'll pick up a ton of combat rating just by putting in a little bit. Appraise stats will give you the most if you roll obviously very good ones. Charming and soul gems are both really good as well. Just remember that if you're doing some charms and soul gems won't reflect in your combat rating, such as like elemental bonuses or accuracy and things like that. So just because your combat rating isn't going up doesn't mean you're not doing a bunch more damage. So that's it for me. As usual, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Or even better, come on over to my stream on Twitch, Karth_WS. I love answering questions, so make sure you bring them on over. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.